Another year, another swath of incredible looking games to behold. Though a number of awesome looking games await in 2019, there are also a fair number of graphical beauties over the horizon. Let's take a look at 30 graphically intense and aesthetically noteworthy video games for the coming years. Tom Clancy's The Division 2. The endless snowy roads may be gone, but Tom Clancy's The Division 2 still delivers on the details. Areas with overgrown plants and slight flooding give the impression of a concrete jungle, while each dark zone has its own distinct identity. Even the little details like seeker mines rippling through the water look simply fantastic. Expect sharp alpha effects, textures, and lighting as well if the first game is anything to go by. Anthem. Say what you will about Anthem, how it doesn't look as impressive as its initial reveal trailer or the performance issues of its demo. When everything works right, the sheer overwhelming nature of the environments, the skybox, the weather effects, and even the intricate details of the javelins all shine. There's nothing quite like flying through gorgeous expanses of land, brimming with life. Death Stranding. The Decima engine shines when it comes to weather effects, atmospherics, and gorgeous environmental textures, but Death Stranding's visual appeal lies beyond its lush, expansive fields. The combination of gorgeous facial details, ethereal creatures, and absurd phenomenon give this game a strange body horror vibe. Regardless of whenever it releases, Kojima's crazy ride is only just getting started. The Last of Us Part 2. Naughty Dog has always been lauded for its visual prowess, and The Last of Us Part 2 is no exception. The animation work looked so good in the E3 2018 trailer that it seemed impossible. Spoiler, it wasn't. The game's brutality looks and feels raw. The effects and textures combined with the lighting and ambiance offers a more sinister vibe than the first game. Naughty Dog has made all of the right moves thus far. Now, if only we had a release date. Lost Soul Aside. Lost Soul Aside is a project that's looking really impressive as time goes on. The fast-paced action already looks like a ton of fun to play. The most impressive part is that this started as a solo project by Yang Bing until Sony stepped in to offer support and Ulti-Zero Games team was formed. As of now, we have no information regarding a release date. Hopefully Yang Bing is able to fulfill his desire to entertain people all over the world. Final Fantasy VII Remake. With the power of Unreal Engine 4 and geometrics' Enlighten, not to mention character modeling by Visual Works, Final Fantasy VII Remake is definitely a good-looking game. Though we haven't seen too much footage thus far, the balance between Final Fantasy VII Advent Children's realism and the style of the original classic is very well handled. It creates an atmosphere that's old school but with cutting-edge visuals, so what more could you want? Gears 5. The Gears series has always been on the cutting edge of visuals, and Gears of War 4 definitely took it to a new level. However, the Coalition is going all out with Gears 5. Aside from traveling to a wealth of new environments like snowy expanses and lush green forests, the characters feel much more alive in certain cutscenes thanks to full motion capture. To deliver this kind of fidelity and promise 4K Ultra HD at 60 FPS with HDR, well, it's truly a mad world. Halo Infinite. However brief 343 Industries' showcase of Halo Infinite was at E3 2018, it still sparked tons of interest. It's being developed on the new Slipspace engine, and right off the bat, it features plenty of volumetric lighting, excellent texture quality, and gorgeous vegetation. Whether it ends up going open world or not, you better believe that Halo Infinite is a game worth watching out for in the coming year. Mortal Kombat 11. When Mortal Kombat 10's gameplay trailer debuted, we were impressed but not blown away. The same cannot be said about Mortal Kombat 11. Characters move naturally and texture details are vastly superior. You can see every bloody, vivid detail at all times. Many lessons seem to have been learned from Injustice 2, and amazingly enough, all of this fidelity is provided by a modified version of Unreal Engine 3. Shenmue 3. EaseNet's Shenmue 3 has gone through some ups and downs with its visuals since development began. The water quality and lighting of Guilin, especially at night, looks great. Facial animations have received some much welcomed touch-ups, and texture quality as a whole is shaping up well. Hopefully, the developer continues polishing the overall experience leading up to its August 2019 release. Skull and Bones. Even if it's just an offshoot of the naval combat in Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, Ubisoft's Skull and Bones stands on its own pretty well. The lavish detail of the pirate ships and the realistically rendered water immediately catch your attention. The smoke and fire effects, especially as dozens of cannons are going off at once, look mesmerizing. Whether Ubisoft can maintain this level of fidelity during multiplayer matches remains to be seen, but we're intrigued all the same. Beyond Good and Evil 2. Another Ubisoft open-world title? Well, sure, but the sheer scope and scale of Beyond Good and Evil 2 is decidedly larger. Entire planets are open to visit, each with their own societies, culture, and technologies. It's still pretty early to judge the visuals, especially given the current state of the gameplay and how far off the release is, but it's hard not to get excited about the extensive draw distance, natural lighting, and architectural design as you fly over vast cities. A Plague Tale: Innocence. Asobo Studios' first game is a real looker. Taking place during the 100 Years' War, there's dirt and grime everywhere. The environments take cues from actual French villages with roots in medieval culture, with streets and layouts accurately modeled. Given the time period, plenty of work has gone into recreating the rats' behavior, namely how they'll scurry onto characters and ultimately react with light. A Plague Tale: Innocence may look too good to be true, but its gorgeous texture work, atmospherics, lighting, and shadows make us want to believe. Metro Exodus. For all the accolades that the Metro series has received, Metro Exodus goes even grander, encapsulating all 4 seasons in bigger environments. Natural lighting plays a bigger part now that the series' penchant for real-time lighting and shadows, along with post-processing effects, is still intact. Metro Exodus will even support ray-traced global illumination on NVIDIA's RTX cards. If you have the hardware to run it, then Metro Exodus is truly primed to showcase 4K gaming. Days Gone. It's a big bad world teeming with zombies, infected, freakers. Days Gone may not rewrite the open world book, but as an action-adventure zombie simulator, it's aces. Zombies act as one big wave, falling over and colliding with each other to get to the player. Coupled with dynamic weather, day and night cycles, and large wildernesses, the sheer amount of stuff going on is crazy, and we still haven't seen the cities, which are reportedly teeming with over 800 people. Control. Remedy Entertainment has always been a stickler for graphical beauty. Control is just the next step, embodying an otherworldly feel while supporting real-time ray-traced reflections and global illumination. Dynamic lighting and atmospherics courtesy of the Northlight engine help bring the oldest house and its brutalist architecture alive in the creepiest way possible. The time-traveling shenanigans of Quantum Break already made for some gorgeous viewing. Here's hoping Control's visuals capture its mysterious vibe as well. Dirt Rally 2.0. Codemasters likes pushing authenticity in its video games, and it looks like they're going to be pushing it to the extreme with the upcoming Dirt Rally 2.0 as well. Track degradation, of course, makes sense. The forces exerted on the tarmac and terrain cause it to react and deform as well as degrade with time. And Dirt Rally 2.0 will have a staggering 150 levels of track degradation to depict it in various stages. Kingdom Hearts 3. Make no mistake, Square Enix's Kingdom Hearts 3 isn't pushing any boundaries with its performance. However, the quality of its art design, recreating specific Disney film art styles from the Greek mythology of Hercules to the CG of Toy Story, is simply incredible. Even if performance isn't locked at 60 FPS, it still does a great job at keeping pace with the sheer amount of effects, fireworks, attraction flows, projectiles, magic, and enemies flying about. Dying Light 2. Employing a brand new engine with a new animation system for everything from nuanced reactions to detailed parkour, Dying Light 2 is going all out with its presentation. Attention to detail may be an overused term, but that's exactly what Techland is aiming for. Depending on your decisions, the city changes accordingly from faction banners to entire structures. The wear and tear of the modern Dark Age mood and the promise for 4K and 60 FPS on PS4 Pro and Xbox One X have us intrigued for now. WITCHFIRE. Not a whole lot is known about People Can Fly's WITCHFIRE, but we like what we've seen thus far. The dark fantasy aesthetic is made possible with photogrammetry rendering the various assets almost lifelike. Resident Evil 2. Sickening, grotesque, moist. Those are just a few of the things that come to mind when observing a zombie up close in Resident Evil 2. Thanks to the RE engine, every sinew and rotting tissue is lovingly rendered with sharp, detailed textures. The lighting is another ingredient of the horror, and with subsurface scattering, stellar image quality, and excellent anti-aliasing, the nightmarish Raccoon City comes alive, or, well, undead like never before. Ace Combat 7. Do you want highly detailed planes, realistically rendered skyboxes, and dynamic weather? How about drops of rain that literally collect on the cockpit glass as you fly, and beautiful clouds that you can actually duck into for cover? Environments may not be crazy detailed in Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown, but the sheer craftsmanship and attention to detail and everything else more than make up for it. Far Cry New Dawn. Far Cry New Dawn more or less features the same graphical quality as Far Cry 5, and that's not a bad thing. The previous game had excellent textures, foliage, and vegetation, and great lighting. Far Cry New Dawn employs a post-apocalyptic setting with lush greenery and lots of pink, so if this neon Mad Max aesthetic suits you, then it might be worth running around in. Rage 2. However, the Mad Max aesthetic is much stronger in Rage 2. Developed on the Apex engine, the open-world first-person shooter from Avalanche Studios and id Software offers seamless transitions between environments. The sheer amount of colors is crazy, but it belies the excellent alpha effects, lighting, and texture quality. Judging by the most recent gameplay footage, animations still need a bit more polish, but overall, Rage 2 brings the colors of Carnage to life. Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. For all the flack that Bloodborne got for its frame pacing issues, From Software's experience with texture and image quality turned it into a spectacle. That same quality, minus any frame pacing problems we hope, has translated well into Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. The Sengoku period comes alive in grisly epic fashion with weather effects and immaculately designed environments. If the developer's past titles are any indication, there is still plenty of spectacle to come. Ghost of Tsushima. In case you didn't notice when its gameplay trailer debuted, Ghost of Tsushima is drop-dead gorgeous. It's insane to see this level of particle effects, lighting, texture, quality, animation, and post-processing effects in an open-world game. The E3 demo showcased incredible draw distance with no pop-in and captured the aesthetic seen in Akira Kurosawa's films to a T. Suffice it to say, we cannot wait to get our hands on this full game. Cyberpunk 2077. Yes, the hour-long gameplay demo is still a work in progress, but it's amazing how understated the game's presentation can be in most circumstances. Destructible environments create realistic dust and rubble. Lighting realistically interacts with characters. Facial animations and textures are on point, and the sheer aesthetic of Night City is painstakingly detailed. Again, we'll have to wait and see how much of this is final, but Cyberpunk 2077 could offer something truly special when it finally launches. Judgment. This PS4 exclusive legal thriller is using the Dragon engine, which shined admirably in Yakuza 6 and Yakuza Kiwami 2. Judgment still employs fluid animation, realistic shaders for skin and clothes, and a physical-based rendering pipeline. While the jury is still out on whether it's a worthy successor to the Yakuza series, Judgment is looking mighty fine to us. The Dark Pictures anthology, Man of Medan. Eerily uncanny valley-like faces and animations, decaying environments with high-quality textures, mood lighting and atmospherics that highlight the macabre. That's a Supermassive Games title for you. Man of Medan has it all, and then some, transitioning seamlessly between sections while offering stellar cinematography. The frame rate of Supermassive's Until Dawn does mean that we're slightly concerned, but Man of Medan is still worth keeping an eye on. Doom Eternal. It's Doom, but bigger, badder, and bloodier. It's also more detailed thanks to id Tech 7 offering 10 times the geometric detail and texture fidelity of the developer's previous engine. Given what id Software could do on consoles with Doom, it remains to be seen if Doom Eternal can pull off the same miracle with all the new mechanics, varied locales, and insane effects on screen. But regardless of the frame rate, if the footage we've seen proves anything, it's that there will be much glorious ripping and tearing to be had. And that about does it for this video. If you enjoyed what you watched and want to see more from GamingBolt, you can always hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon next to it. That way you will never miss any of our videos.